transmissions now exceed imported cases, the former standing at 872 and the latter at 841. Another worrisome development is that more and more cases of local transmissions are being reported at the workplaces. COVID-19 is thus no longer a problem out there, far and beyond our borders. Rather, it is now here amongst us and in our communities. South Africa, which is both our neighbor and our major trading partner, ranks fifth globally on number of infections after the United States of America, Brazil, India, and Russia. The affinities and intense multi-layered interactions between our two countries mean we have a very serious situation on our doorstep. This is coupled with an upsurge recorded in all our other neighboring states. Therefore, this sobering reality means that we can no longer be complacent, and that requires urgent and decisive measures. Fellow Zimbabweans, these urgent and necessary measures will entail curtailing the freedoms we have always enjoyed and had grown accustomed to. From now on, these freedoms stand suspended and deferred in the interest of all of us, indeed in the interest of our children and our nation, which must survive, thrive and prosper beyond this pandemic. No responsible government places its citizens in harm's way. Hence, my government will do all it can to preserve and protect the right to life. Accordingly, government has decided on the following measures, which take full effect from tomorrow, Wednesday, 22nd July 2020, until further review and notice. 1. All non-working sections of our population will be required to stay at home, except for purposes of securing food, water, and health services. Where travel and social contact becomes essential and inevitable, every Zimbabwean should and must uphold the 4 requirements set out by the World Health Organization, which are wearing masks or equivalent protective materials, observing strict standards of hygiene, including the washing of hands or use of sanitizers, mandatory screening in all public spaces and buildings, social distancing in all public places and at all times. With effect from tomorrow, Wednesday, 22nd July 2020, all business premises must operate from 8 o'clock in the morning until 3 o'clock in the afternoon, with the exception of providers of essential services. As of tomorrow, Wednesday, 22nd July 2020, all our security services must enforce a dusk to dawn curfew set to come into force daily between 6 o'clock in the evening and 6 o'clock in the morning. Only essential services are exempt from this curfew. All business operations and premises are required to observe and enforce World Health Organization anti-COVID-19 standards, which include observing social distance at workplaces, wearing of masks at all times, regular screenings, and strict hygiene standards at workplaces. Only registered SMEs which have been allocated workplaces will be allowed to operate, and they must comply with the parameters and the protocols set by the World Health Organization. Our food markets will remain open and operational, and they must observe set measures, rules and requirements meant to uphold public health. Suppliers to markets should be facilitated to reach the markets, including by our security forces. Intercity town public transport and essential transport to all rural areas remain banned. All approved buses and vehicles for public transport should ensure and enforce public health standards, including the screening of passengers before boarding and the disinfecting of all public vehicles after each round trip. Public gatherings for social, religious, or political purposes remain banned. Funeral gatherings remain curtailed. In line with public health requirements, cessation from places of quarantine by returnees and infected persons resulting in the exposure of innocent lives to the virus will be considered a criminal act and invite a very robust response from our law and the public health enforcement arms. Anyone who knowingly exposes, aids, abates, or infects innocent persons, whether by breaching conditions of isolation or by encouraging actions which undermine public health measures which government has announced or undertaken, will be liable and severely punished accordingly. My fellow Zimbabweans, these measures are being taken for our collective safety. As Zimbabweans, we have to win the war against the COVID-19 pandemic. We must minimize loss of lives. I, as the President, will come back to you to announce the easing of these public health measures once the situation has improved. Let all of us, for now, unreservedly comply with these measures. Together, in unity, love, and a shared sense of responsibility, we shall overcome and save lives, our families, and our nation. God bless Zimbabwe. I thank you.
All right, so that was the address by His Excellency President E.D. Mnangagwa. Let me reiterate some of the things that he mentioned. He says businesses are going to be opening from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. except for essential services. Also, there's going to be a dusk to dawn curfew from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., which means you are not allowed to be loitering around during this time. All businesses to observe the World Health Organization antivirus standards that have been set, and also only registered SMEs will be allowed to operate. Food markets will remain open, and intercity town transportation to rural areas, all those ones, they remain restricted. Okay, public gatherings for religious purposes or for politics, they remain banned. And also, it's now a criminal act to endanger other people, especially when you know that you are positive and you enter into the community, absconding from quarantine centers. This is now an offense that can see you serving or being prosecuted. So these are some of the things that have been said by the president. And please stay safe. And for those of you who are new to Ziki Media, please subscribe so that you don't miss on all the videos that I give to you every day. Until then, please stay safe, sanitize, wear your mask, and maintain social distancing.